she actually jumped into the peer support network in the beginning, and she was just finishing her first year. So I give her a lot of credit for her courage, because that's not easy to do. Because it requires a lot of leadership on her part. So thank you, Ms. Wright. Okay. All right, man. Good men. You're a good-looking bunch of men.
Go ahead, go.
Hey, Sarah, they're a handsome bunch.
Well, honey, they ain't nothing wrong with their looks.
Go ahead, go.
It's just that maroon.
It's just Will's eyesight is bad.
It's just that maroon and white color.
Hey, it don't burn. That's what I've heard.
Just saying.
Well, we're just, we're here to talk about our Year 2 initiative. We have been a part of this from the very beginning. It was ARP initially, but now it's, the funding has changed, and so we're calling it our Year 2 initiative.
That's right.
And hopefully we're going to start our Year 3 initiative next year and get to see just continued growth in our students. And that's what it's really about. Is how can we make sure that there's meaningful growth in these students, and how can we make sure that they have the opportunity to find the resources available for them in our area. And Nathan, I'm sure, is going to talk about some of these things as well, but we've given our kids just as much of a chance to see what's out there as we can. And we're always looking for new and innovative ways to improve as well. So.
And our mission statement goes along with the word opportunity. Like I said earlier, opportunities, that you've got to give kids opportunity to better themselves. And the only way they can better themselves is they've got to know what's available to them to better themselves, to have that opportunity. So it's to provide a meaningful integrated education in a positive, nurturing environment to develop each student as a lifelong learner and responsible citizen in a global community. And that's everybody in this classroom, in this room right here right now. That's our #1 goal. This is some of the transition components to our logic model. Our logic model dealt with mostly post-secondary education. We're going to look at ACT data for the participation in KVEC transition conferences, Big Sandy Community Technical College campus tours. We do the Haker Hill, Pikeville, and Paintsville campuses every year. The Carl D. Perkins, Brian took his low incidence kids of that this year. Due to the flooding, I had a date to take my kids, but by the time we got back, it was around ACT time, and we couldn't do it. Completion of FAFSA, all of our kids have their FAFSA completed. All kids have applied for one scholarship and has received that scholarship, and all of our kids have been accepted to either UPIC or Big Sandy Community Technical College. We have completed the ACE program, the Connor program to complete our ILP requirements. We have updated post-secondary goals within our IEPs for the children. Our kids participate in JAG, and you'll see some pictures here a little bit of a reality store and some other things that they were able to take full advantage of. Participation in our 2nd annual reality store and participation in our first PMC College Transition Fair, which some of you all may took the full advantage of. It was called Building the Bridges that they put on this school year.
So as far as for my component of this, the low incidence component, we worked as baristas, but also as just welcomers into the community of Faith Life Market. We partnered with New Beginnings Church in Pikeville, and it's been such a wonderful and fruitful venture, because it gives them not only a place to possibly find employment once they graduate, but also a community. I don't know if you all have been in Faith Life Market, but it is an amazing place where college students and high school students and just community members all gather, and they have a place to just be able to talk and meet and have coffee, and it's just a really great place. We also went to the KVEC Transition Conference. Dr. Cadenton, I know that I have several low incidence teachers in here as well. Thank you, Dr. Cadenton, for doing the low incidence conference. It is something that my kids always look forward to, and it is a great resource, because it lets my kids see other kids like them, and it's a chance for them to see I'm not by myself in this. And I know that Anna has friends at all of the different schools in Pike County.
Yes.
Right? And so, and I'll say this too, all of my kids, because of that friendship, it's unlocked doors and open friendships for them, and that's a big deal. So thank you all for that. And then also the Carl D. Perkins Center, Jessica Blackburn is a great resource. If you're not using her, you should, because she is wonderful and she's a big help to us at Pike County.
That's
She's
below.
the public relations officer, and when she came on board 2 years ago, the leadership at Perkins said, can she go out into the field with you? And so she's probably done over 100 school visits with you.
She's wonderful.
And just like I said earlier, Carl D. Perkins, it is not just below incident kids. They have many opportunities for kids that are not considered low incident.
Yeah. So just like JAG has a reality store, our classroom has a reality store as well. We do a candy cane sale every Christmas, and it's a great chance for our students to have a business model, to be able to contribute to their own trips and things that, and our student body gets behind it. We sell out of candy canes every day, and it's a wonderful thing to see how they support our students, and it's just a big, big deal. I know that Nathan and Dylan can agree with me. You see, especially in middle school, I don't know, we've got 7 through 12 at Pikeville, so usually the high school kids are mad because the middle school kids buy all the candy canes before they can get to it.
It's hard on my wallet during that time too.
Yeah.
Because I'm either buying them for myself or buying them for other kids.
And then, you know, we've talked about the Peer Support Network. It's just a great program. And then also we practice our soft skills. And that's one thing that JAG has a crossover with our low incidence kids. We have kids from my class that go into JAG classes. And it's a big deal. Very, very thankful for that.
This is a picture of our Fredericksburg Transition Conference, all that Dylan talked about, the kids' experience with the kids in that.
We kind of talked about this earlier, but we have one kid here in particular that's my student that he's real quiet and he doesn't want to talk to people. But when we come here, he immediately is like, where's the carpentry guy? Where's the guy that does woodworking or whatever? So it's cool to see these kids have an idea of what they want to do. So they come to you and like, this is who I want to talk to. Not worried about nothing else. Give me this guy. So we make sure that we put the kids where they want to be, and I think it's awesome that they have these rooms labeled off to where you can go, and they really enjoy that field trip.
Again, more of the KVEC STEM projects that we've all been a part of, and we can keep going if you want to.
So this is the Pikeville Medical Center building the bridges. You attended this conference, and the president of Pikeville Medical Center, he gave about a 15 or 20-minute speech talking about the services that Pikeville Medical Center offer, the programs that they offer, and then they had a lot of their respiratory tech and just different areas and fields of medical in rooms where you could go and you could like take blood pressure, and you could like poke an orange with a needle. You could do respirations and fake dummies and just different things like that. And it wasn't all related to medical. Right here, if you want to be a firefighter, Pikeville firefighting hat, they're down there. So there's just a lot of different things. And it was the first year that Pikeville Medical did this. And I really thought it was a huge success. The Gatton Academy was there.
Oh,
Yes. So it was a huge success. If you've not attended this, look for their second annual conference because it was really good. They feed you as well. It's kind of set the way that you do this, Dr. Cathan, is you go there, the students stay there, they give them lunch, they come back after lunch, they finish, and then you go back. This is your, if you want, you may.
We've already watched it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the next one. That was last year's. And so, again, the Carl D. Perkins experience, I know there's some overlap, so I want to be clear that, you know, I could talk all day about this stuff. I really could, because my kids, they benefit from these resources and these experiences. And I know that all of us could do that. So I don't want to go on and on, but you know, it's amazing to see what's available.
If you participate in the T-Pilot program, and then you also participate in this, you're going to realize that it goes hand in hand. What you're doing to increase GPAs and ACT, that's all post-secondary education. Because you're supporting that it's making their dreams of post-secondary come true. So, I mean, it's just a revolving door, so that's the reason why all the overlap right here. This is, when they, came in and did the, snap circuits. Our children always love doing this. I think there's a kid right here that Dylan can talk about right here.
Yeah, I talked about this earlier too, but this kid, he doesn't talk, usually tries to sleep. You gotta beat him awake. But when you got stuff like, when they come in here with these snap circuits and he can do stuff with his hands, he really enjoys that, and he's asking questions, and he's more attentive when you got stuff for hands-on instead of just putting a worksheet in front of his face and telling him to do it.
You can,
Yeah, we already did this.
yeah.
Again, this is our JAG program's reality store. We talked about it earlier, but for those of you all that weren't here, it's a chance for our students to have real-life experience where, you know, they have rent to pay, they have a job, they have kids that they have to take care of.
Their baby's on the Post-it note.
Right, so they also have to pay bills, and again, by the end of it, they're like, I don't want to be an adult. I just want to go home. I want to be a kid forever. And you know, the thing about it is it gives them a chance to see what their parents are going through right now, what it's like in the real world, and above all else, it's giving them kind of glimpse into their future. So, and again, more of what JAG does for us at
This was first responders,
Mhm.
right here. This was, the police officers, you see it on the news, they'll go and buy kids presents, first responders, well, they brought it back to us, a few of the gifts, and we wrap those for them.
Similar to a shop with a cop program.
Yep.
Go ahead.
This is shucking corn to help the lunchroom ladies out so they can prepare the food and to do it outside. And then the picture to the right is some of our students actually making the items for the reality store. They make, the whole entire reality store is based out of the JAG program.
I think this is one we want to show.
Already done.
Oh, there we go. So this is a cystic fibrosis machine used to help them with kids with cystic fibrosis breathe.
Well, when she steps on it, that's what.
And you'll hear when she talks, it like really vibrates.
But it has a timer like.
Yeah, so, as far as, what we're trying to do with the ACE and the CONA program, we've talked about it already, but it's bridging the gap for those ILPs, because again, there's some gaps in ACE, and we really like the CONOVER program that Dr. Caton brought to us.
It's more student driven, I feel like, more user friendly.
Right, and so we incorporated that into our ILP creations this year, and it was a great way for us to get our kids to make their own resumes, find their own career interest inventories, and above all else, just get them excited about what's next for them. Those next steps are always what we're trying to push our kids towards.
It's just the ACT resources that Dr. Caden provided us a couple of years ago that we are still using, and they're very effective.
One thing that I'll say about the ACT boot camp though is it actually, we've mentioned this in the past, but we haven't mentioned it this year. We actually had a bleed over from special ed. A lot of times we have regular ed coming into special ed, but this time we had special ed going into regular ed.
Yep.
We used those resources for every single student at Pikeville High School. And our ACT scores went up because of it, which is a huge deal.
And this is just a reward for good faith effort on the ACT. This is just a comparison of 4 of my seniors. You can see where the junior year is the light blue, the senior year is this. You can tell that, you know, they are worse some drop, they stay even, but there are no major changes there. And that I either want to stay here, go up here, but I don't want to drop May here. Okay, so I feel like that our students and the resources of Dr. Caden gave us really help our kids. The CODI exam, all of our kids, 3 out of our 5 students have already met these standards. So that means they don't have to take any remedial math classes when they graduate. They'll be put straight into pre-college algebra. Go ahead.
So where's your student surveys?
They should be there.
Yeah, that can't be the last slide then.
No, unless we,
Let me look and see.
see if we,
I can fix it.
see if we keep them out.
Your
We may,
year
we
two,
may get them because of
your
the.
year two student survey.
Yeah, right down here. Take this, undo this one from the.
Yeah, I'll get it.
From Lucas down. We'll do Lucas last.
I don't know if we can do it.
Okay, just come down, just go down, and I can see if it'll scroll down. So,
So for the year two work, if I can just refresh,
I'll do it.
It's got, we'd have to do it on
I
that.
can do it on my laptop.
yeah, go ahead and do it.
You can go ahead, go ahead.
I want them to see that. You've noticed that there's some crossover programs between the transition pilot project, the longitudinal case study, which is completing year 4 going into year 5, and the year 2 implementation of the sustainability plan. So, for lack of a better description, what organically happened with those teacher leaders like these men at Pikeville High is it enhanced their transition resources and programming. So, they did a certain amount of transition programming through the pilot project, which is data-driven with GPA, density of transition, experience correlation, to surveying every student here through the ARP work, which is connected and aligned to the national taxonomy for transition programming. So that's one of the differentiations that
You're good.
distinguishes, but again, very organically, a lot of the programs that they were already doing, they just enhanced by virtue of having more resources through the year 2 work to do more. So what you're gonna see, so for those teachers who are doing both this year, you're gonna see it blended, because we're kind of ready for that. We've matured to that point where we'll kind of finish the data portion of the transition pilot project, but merge it in with the year 2, which would be year 3 implementation of the sustainability plan, which is a whole year of transition programming. The best example, real quick, that I can share with you about Pikeville High, they used JAG as part of their transition pilot project, but they used them even more because of what they put in their model of practice for their sustainability plan. So that's one of the differences. But again, organically, they've kind of blended together, so we're just gonna go ahead and blend them as we move forward. That makes the most sense to
So
me.
one pushes the other. I mean, you just can't have them out there.
Yeah. Did you find it?
Yeah, this is our
I'm Lucas Coleman, a
Just
senior
speak
at Pikeville High School, and I want to go into HVAC, heating and cooling.
Did you find the student survey?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I learned that I really want to go into HVAC, heating and cooling. I learned how my school's gonna look, like how the hallways are gonna look, I just learned a lot about what my future is gonna look like when I go into college.
We can cut this short.
I seen
Yeah,
just
we
a
might
bunch
want
of
to move to the
different
data and
classes.
Move to
wrap
the
it up.
data. Okay, move to the data.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go.
So this is our ARP student data for 24 and 25. And you can see that most of our kids are leaning toward employment and social skills, and then 27.2% is life and social and emotional skills. So we're going in the right direction here. Okay, we're starting to think the correct way. You see that it says, please rate your knowledge of the subject before you attended all these different types of activities. They didn't know much, okay? And you can see that it's trending now that they do know much. And the bottom was, please rate your knowledge of subject after they attended it. Well, here you got 3s, you got 4s, and now their knowledge is 5. Okay, so they're building that knowledge. They're building that understanding that, I have to do something with my life after I graduate. And I tell my parents, college ain't for everybody. I don't care to tell you that. I don't care to tell my principal that. You got to do something. Whether it's going to tech center and getting a degree, you get a big Sandy Community Technical College, there's 22 years degrees that makes more money than doctors. Okay? But you got to do something. And that's what we preach to them. And this is our ARP student data.
Yeah, we still have a tendency to call it ARP because that's the grant that initially funded it, right?
So if you look at this, these were the areas that we targeted for our students. Again, the highest is obviously going to be employment and occupational skills. We do have a larger population of students with low incidence. And so we have 28%, about a quarter of our kids that are in the program are low incidence students. But if you look, we also target instructional content, and we also target assessment and academic skills. And so what we're trying to do is make a well-rounded program. And it's been a really, really positive thing, not to just target one thing, but to incorporate a really varied and vast base of knowledge. Because what you're gonna see with your kids when you do that is they're gonna be high achievers in the classroom, but also they're going to be able to have those skills that you're looking for once they graduate. Because the last, let's just all be clear. The last thing that I want for my kids is for them to go sign up for Social Security. I don't want that for them, because that's no life. That's not a life that I want for my students. I want them to go out and have a full life, to have a job and a purpose, and be a part of our community. And if they're just saying, well, I'm gonna do what my mom and dad did, and my grandma and my grandpa, then we're falling into that same trap that Eastern Kentucky is falling into time and time again. And we want to break that cycle. And the way that you do that is you give students opportunities. And that's part of why I love this program, the transition program in the ARP, or sustainability program is the way we're wording it now. So.
Yep, we'll have to give you a clap.